YouTube Nation and Dog Pound. I'm back. Did you miss me? I'm Unger to the max. And I have not been able to make any kind of content on the channel for pretty much a month. That's because on December 2nd, I underwent jaw surgery. And I was unable to talk for a long period of time, and it was not fun. But now I'm at the point in my recovery where I've gotten itching to make content again. And there's one team that seems to be, providing me with that content. Hopefully, maybe you can't tell. Oh yeah, that's right. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 17 to advance to the playoffs. And then what did they do? Oh yeah, they went to Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers. That's right. The Cleveland Browns. That's right. We're in the divisional round. Excuse me. As I said, I'm still in the midst of recovery, so I have to do that wipe my face like that from time to time. Anyway, we're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Or, correction, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. There we go. So, and right now the Browns are 2 wins away from the Super Bowl. Let me say that again. The Cleveland Browns are 2 wins away from the Super Bowl. 2. Just try and get that through your head for a second. Okay? The Browns have never even sniffed the Super Bowl, I should say. The only reason I know what the Super Bowl is because I watch it every year. That's the only reason. But the Browns have never won the Super Bowl because they've never played in the Super Bowl. So to think that in the year 2020, where fans are not allowed to be at the stadium in full attendance, in a year where you have all this political imbalance and all this chaos going on at the White House and whatnot, don't worry, I'm not going to dive into that because I don't want to offend anybody on the channel. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And you have all this stuff with COVID and social justice and all that, which I fully support. Black Lives Matter. I'm going to just say that right now. But again, not diving into it any more than that. But I will say, again, we need to end racism. It's ridiculous that, we all can't live together happy and free. It's sad. It really is. But again, in this world, the Browns are 2 wins away from the Super Bowl. Just try and wrap your head around that concept for a second. And think about this. The Browns were in the playoffs for the first time since 2002. But they hadn't won a playoff game since 1994 against the New England Patriots. Excuse me. Who was the head coach for the Browns when we beat the Patriots in that playoff game in 1994? Some guy who had Tom Brady for 20 plus seasons and would go on to win 6 Super Bowls. I put win in quotation marks because, New England cheated. So to me, some of those Super Bowls aren't valid. But anyway, yeah, Bill Belichick was the Browns head coach in 1994. Think about all the success he's gone on to have in New England. Just think about that for a second. Quick, interesting tidbit about Bill Belichick. Again, I'm not diving into politics. I just want to pass along this information. President Trump wanted to give the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Bill Belichick. I don't know of any situation where a person, I'll just say that, has declined the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But Bill Belichick did. Was it the right thing to do? Was it the wrong thing to do? Again, not diving into that. I just wanted to pass along that information. So, the Browns looked good against the Steelers. But did they look great? In my opinion, no. Because going into this game, I knew that the Steelers were not a first half team. I knew that they are a second half team. They proved that in the second half of their game against the Indianapolis Colts. They were down 17, I think it was, and they came roaring back to win. So that proves my point. So when the Browns went up 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, I was like, yay! The Browns are up 28-0. But at the same time, I was saying, okay, I don't want the Browns to have all this energy and have all this momentum going to the second half and then just have it go whoosh and be gone and just have a huge energy dump. And that's kind of what happened. Because if you did watch the game, which I hope you did, Pittsburgh was able to, Ben Roethlisberger was able to find his rhythm with his receivers and his tight ends, mostly Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, and Eric Ebron, and he was able to lead the Steelers on the comeback trail. Now, Ben Roethlisberger passed for 500 yards. Passing. 500 yards. Okay? But don't let that number fool you. Okay? Because Pittsburgh all year has shown they have no running game. I don't know if it's because they don't trust James Conner. I don't know if it's because they tried the run game early in the season and it didn't work. I don't know if it's that they don't trust their offensive line or what it is. But Pittsburgh does just abandon the run game. And they had to rely on the dink and dunk passing game. So that's how Big Ben got his 500 yards. Because he would throw like a pass to Deontay Johnson for a 5-yard play, but then using his speed, Johnson would turn it into like a 15-yard gain, for example. So, the numbers are a little bit deceiving. We were able to intercept Big Ben 4 times, though. Now, we had to win that game without Denzel Ward, our best cornerback, our head coach, Kevin Stefanski, offensive line coach, Bill Callahan, and many others. I believe Baker in his post-game interview even said that he had to introduce himself to some of the offensive linemen because, they didn't get to practice on the practice field because of the positive COVID tests. So the Browns essentially didn't get to practice for almost 2 weeks because the facility was closed. Against Kansas City, we can't afford to not practice because let's say Denzel Ward is able to shut down Tyreek Hill. Okay? Patrick Mahomes can just say, okay, you're not letting me use Tyreek Hill. Let's see. I have Travis Kelce. I have Sammy Watkins. I have McCole Hardman. I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I have Le'Veon Bell. And I have Demarcus Robinson. So, go cover the rest of them, Browns. It's a ridiculously tall task that the Browns have on Sunday at 3 o'clock on CBS. I don't mean this to be disrespectful to Kansas City Chiefs fans. I don't. But I'm glad that the Chiefs will not be able to have full attendance for this game. Because Arrowhead Stadium, when it's full, it's rocking. I think they hold the Guinness Book World Record for the loudest outdoor stadium. I actually think they have a non-team rivalry with Seattle. Like, I don't think the Seahawks and Chiefs have an actual rivalry, but the two fan bases do. Because Seattle and Kansas City usually trade, Kansas City holds the record, right? Well, Seattle's probably going to try and respond and set a new record. And then Kansas City's going to try and respond to that. So that's what I mean, that the fan bases of Seattle and Kansas City have a rivalry. So, I don't mean to be disrespectful to Chiefs fans, because Chiefs fans are amazing. The AFC West has some of those most passionate fan bases. Two, actually. The Chiefs and the Broncos. I don't know what the Raiders fan base is like, because they're out in Las Vegas. They're not in Oakland anymore. And the Chargers, their fan base is meh. Again, no disrespect to any of those fan bases, but if I had to choose two games that I could, or two stadiums in the AFC West that I would want to attend more than any other, it's easily Arrowhead Stadium number 1, and 1B, I guess, would be Empower Field at Mile High. I think that's the name of the Broncos Stadium. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section. One quick thing about the Broncos. They share the same color scheme as the Chicago Bears. Both teams are orange and blue. And I like the color scheme for both teams, but there's just something about the orange and blue on the Denver Broncos that I just like way more than the Chicago Bears. And on the subject of colors, the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings, the Ravens are right here. Shout out to my man Engraven Bids. Maybe I'll see you next week for a possible round 3 between the Browns and Ravens for the AFC Championship. So the Ravens and the Vikings right here both use the color purple. The Ravens use purple and black as their color scheme, while the Vikings use purple and yellow. I wouldn't say they use gold. The only teams that use gold, in my opinion, are the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. And I like the gold way better on the Saints than I do the 49ers. But anyway, as I said, the Ravens use purple and the Vikings use purple. Now, the Vikings got purple first because they came into the league earlier. But then the Ravens came into the league as the old Browns. Now, I kind of dispute that because, they're the Ravens. The name Browns, the colors of brown and orange, and our history all stayed in Cleveland. So, are the Ravens really the old Browns? Really? I mean, I get why the rivalry is there. I do. And I don't particularly like the Ravens. Especially after how they beat us in week 14 on Monday Night Football. Lamar Jackson, you had to shit. You just don't want to admit it. Be a man like Paul Pierce did. Anyway, I will say this. Between the Ravens purple and the Vikings purple, I like the Ravens purple better. It's just something about Baltimore I just like better than Minnesota. Now for the teams that have yellow, that would be Pittsburgh and Green Bay. And Minnesota. Minnesota uses yellow, not gold. And Arizona uses yellow. I would say the two teams that use yellow the best as one of their logos are Pittsburgh and Green Bay. Which is funny because they met in Super Bowl 45. And I actually watched Super Bowl 45 last week, so it would send bad vibes to the Steelers. And guess what? It worked. The Steelers lost. So, obviously, I'm not going to watch Super Bowl 54 this week because the Chiefs won that game. Instead, I'm watching games from the 2014 World Series between the San Francisco Giants and the Kansas City Royals, because the Royals lost that series in 7 games. So I'm watching the games where the Royals lost, aka games where the Giants won. That way, it sends bad vibes to the Chiefs. I might also watch the 2018 AFC Championship, which would still make me cringe because I hate the New England Patriots. But I'm trying to send bad vibes to the Kansas City Chiefs so that they lose. Because again, we're playing them. Go Browns! Don't you forget it. But I'm not wishing that Patrick Mahomes gets injured in this game or that Tyrann Mathieu breaks a leg. I don't want anybody to get injured in this game. No, I'm not wishing COVID on anyone. I'm not wishing injury on anyone. I want the Browns to win this game fair and square. I don't want it to be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes got injured, so the Chiefs weren't at full strength. No, I don't want that. I want it to be like, oh, the Browns won this game, and they beat Patrick Mahomes. Cool? Cool. So, here's the thing. We know Kansas City wants to get out there and throw the ball all around the yard. We know that. And we know that the Browns, on the other hand, want to hand it off to hand it off to Baker Mayfield. No. Hand it off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and establish the run game and then build our passing game off of that. So, it's a question of who establishes their offense first. Because if the Browns are able to establish their offense first, it means that Kansas City's offense is on the field less. Because again, the Browns want to run the ball, chew the clock, have 11 to 12 plays per drive, if you know what I'm saying. So, but Kansas City, I'm not saying they want to be a quick strike offense where it's like, okay, it took 3 plays and we scored a touchdown. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Kansas City is more of a quick strike style offense. And I have a feeling that the Chiefs want to try and get off to a fast start. Like, try and get up like 14-3 maybe. 14-0, 17-0. That range. Try and force the Browns to play catch up, force the Browns to get away from the run game and put the ball in the hands of Baker Mayfield. Because Kansas City doesn't believe Baker Mayfield can beat them. And many of the experts don't think Baker Mayfield can throw the Browns to victory. I'm iffy about it. I'm not 100% sure Baker can. After he beat the Steelers in the playoffs, I would say he's earned a little bit of a right to be in all these progressive commercials. But not fully yet. He's not at the point where I can be like, yep, you fully earned the right to be in the progressive commercials. Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he's totally earned the right to be in the State Farm commercials. He won an MVP, he's won a Super Bowl, and he's won a Super Bowl MVP. Although, again, I still say Damian Williams should have won that Super Bowl MVP last season. Not Patrick Mahomes. But it is what it is. You can't change the past. So, that's going to do it for this video. Just to let you know, Saturday night, I have 2 video collaborations scheduled with 2 Kansas City Chiefs fans. And so they'll be about an hour apart-ish. So be on the lookout for those. It feels great to be back on YouTube. I missed making content for you guys. This is just so much fun for me. And I like to come on and express my opinion, read what you have to say in the comments. I will address comments in my next video, if there are comments for this video, which I hope there are. But until next time, this is Unger to the Max, signing off. A salute to you. Go Browns, beat the Chiefs on Sunday. Let's get to the AFC Championship. Hopefully against Buffalo. I think I would prefer to play the Bills. Their style matches up more with what we like to do. I don't want to play Baltimore.